Hi, my name is Balakrishnan. I'm the country manager for Liberty in the Virgin Islands. In my role, I'm responsible for the financial performance and the commercial strategy of the company, and also the go-to-market with all the products and services, and also, more importantly, serving the customers and bringing the best network possible to the customers.
Okay, so Liberty, our viewers, our residents, witnessed the transition and they have experienced some bumps in the roads. So what do you tell them who are experiencing the drop calls in areas, they're seeing the spam calls, and who have a number of complaints? They tend to feel that it has increased since the transition occurred.
Yeah.
What do you tell them, and what can they do? What kind of relief is coming?
Yeah. So first of all, the transition, the network that we have here is the exact same network that was with AT&T. So while it looked like it was because of the transition, some of the things that happened has got less to do with the transition and more to do with the timing of it. Right after the transition, the pandemic hit, consumption went up, so basically network congestion went up. We're aware of it, so we're fixing a lot of things. We're improving our overall capacity throughout the island. We now have 95% 5G coverage, but we have 3 phases of fiber deployment. Phase 1 is complete. The next 2 phases for the wireless fiber is going to be done over the next 18 months or so. We know the drop calls. We have identified 9 spots where there are drop calls happening, so we have plans to fix it over the year. On the spam messages, unfortunately, it's not just in Virgin Islands, it's happening everywhere, and I get it too. So the first thing I'll tell our viewers is go on National Do Not Call Registry and register. That helps a lot. That will help filter out quite a bit. That doesn't mean that everything is gone. We're still identifying and finding out if there's other ways to filter out these spam messages so people don't get inundated. It's an unfortunate nature of the digital economy, but we are doing everything we can to try and resolve this issue.
In the meantime, when the customers are experiencing these type of issues, what do they do? Or as a consumer, what do you tell them? Because they say they're paying the same bill.
Yes. So as a consumer, what I will tell you is, it is step number 1 for the spam calls, go on Do Not Call Registry and register. And if you have issues, call us. And be assured we are aware of these things and we are fixing it. What we bring to you is the best network on the wireless side, and on the wireline side we are actually going to be laying fiber. We have mandate from the FCC and funding from the FCC to lay a fiber to the home network throughout, and you're going to be seeing that. Construction is going to start happening sometime this year, and over the next 6 years we are going to connect up the entire island, all 46,000 homes, with fiber. So please bear with us a little bit, and I assure you we're going to get you a fantastic network.
So let's step back 1 second. I want to step back and let's talk a little more on the country manager. That's a role that the USVI, we're not familiar with. Country manager is a term used in the Lower Caribbean, Latin America. Why is it important? Why the title country manager? For who's watching in?
I would like to recognize some people that have been kind enough to share their time and to come here to this event, starting with certain officials from the government that are representing us here for this announcement. We have, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce the names or if I miss all the, some parts of the names altogether, but I'll start with, from the office of Senator Alma Francis, we have a representative. Her name is Jennifer Rosendo. We have from the office of Senator Franklin D. Johnson, we have Ms. Maynard representing. We have Senator Angel Bolques Jr. We have Derek Gabriel, the Commissioner of the Department of Public Works, and Joe McLean as well. We have the Communications Director from the office of Congresswoman Stacy Plasak. We have a representative from her office, Laverne Joseph, who's here over there in green. We have the Teresa M. Civil from the Office of the Director of Information Technology of the Virgin Islands Housing and Finance Authority. We have Abigail Romaine from the Office of Disaster Recovery Network Analyst from the Virgin Islands Housing Finance Authority. And we have Carissa Jacobs from the Help Desk Technician from the Virgin Islands Housing Finance Authority as well. And then we have, very important, we have Jamila Russell, who's representing the Senate President, Dana Fred Gregory. And as well, we have Stephen Adams, the CEO of VINGN as well. Where is he? I saw him earlier. Oh, there he is. Okay, and then really important, we have some important visitors from the company. We have a lot. I'm not going to mention them all. But most importantly, we have Balan Nair over there. He's the president and CEO of Liberty Latin America. We have John Winter, who's the chief legal officer and secretary of the board. Jonathan, stand up, or at least raise your hand. Yeah. We have Amir Hussain, the chief technology and product officer. We have Gagandeep Sethi, the vice president of operations. Ryan Finn, the manager of capital allocation and business control. Ryan? We have Derek Kocher, the vice president of product management and strategy. Where is he? Okay. And we have Naji Kuri, the CEO of Liberty Communications. As well, we have Bala Balakrishan, the general manager of Liberty USVI over here. A lot of you have met him. And we have Catherine Klin. Catherine, where are you? There you are. She's the director of commercial sales for Liberty USVI. So with that, I'd like to pass the presentation to Bala. He's going to make the announcements and review through all the important information we want to share with you today. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for making this event very special for us. There are a number of people that have really taken time out of the day to come join us, and especially Stephen Adams, Derek Gabriel, Joel McLean, Senator Bulkey. So all the people that, I know your time is very precious, and thank you for sharing that time with us. This is an important milestone, not just for us, but I think it's an important start of a great journey for the Virgin Islands. And we're happy to share this with you. And what we'll do is I'll go through the presentation and I'll give you some of the details. Then Naji, our CEO for Liberty Puerto Rico, will share a few words, and then we'll ask Balan Nair, our overall CEO, to come and also share a few words. Then we'll take questions. I'm having some technical difficulty here in moving this forward. Nope, we went too far. Okay, so we're, as you know, Liberty, we're relatively new, but we're not that new. We're proudly running an operation with a very rich history. With our acquisition of AT&T's properties here, we have 30 years of history in the island. Catherine Kling has been part of that journey for over 20 years. And now we acquired Broadband VI, and together, today, we're announcing Liberty Virgin Islands. So starting today, we're going to be Liberty Virgin Islands. And it's a company that's committed to bringing the best wireless and also broadband services to the Virgin Islands. So our goal, our motto is we want to bring broadband to every household, because that's actually going to help in the growth of the economy, in the growth of people in the islands. With this, we're strengthening our commitment. We're strengthening our commitment to our employees, and we'll talk a little bit about some of the things, how strong we are and where we are going. We're strengthening our commitment to our customers, and we'll talk a little bit about some of the things that we're doing, not just in fiber, but in everything else, about what we're going to do. And we're strengthening our commitment to communities, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So when we talk about talent, we are contributing to the economy and the growth of the local talent. And what does that mean, right? Today, we have 75 employees as part of Liberty VI between the islands. And just this year, we're adding 15 more. And that's across the board. We're looking at customer service and sales consultants, business sales manager, technicians, project managers, and a construction crew, marketing, NOC support. So you can see it's across the board. And that still doesn't include the technicians and the construction people that we are actually going to bring to the island in partnership with our partner AEG. So we're focused. We're focused in growing the people, growing the economy, and bringing jobs to the island. And not just growth, we want to foster professional growth. So we have a whole bunch of training. So we have what we call Liberty U, which is Liberty University. And as part of that, we're bringing several things like LinkedIn license, learning license for all employees. We're also growing our people as managers through our People Managers Academy. We're continuing to train our people in technical aspects and all of our retail personnel and so on. And of course, safety is extremely important for us, especially when we start talking about construction. And so we're focusing on that as well. The other thing is doing all this and growing on these islands. I'm sure people who are on the island, you know, growing talent, attracting and retaining talent is a big is a commitment. So we're beginning to work with the government of Virgin Islands about workforce development. We're beginning to work with. We're talking with the advisor for workforce development, leveraging programs like Skills for Today, working with UVI and so on and so forth to bring talent to the island. And part of that as well is we are very focused on DEI, right? Equality, diversity, and inclusiveness. So you can see the statistics here, right? So 30% of all our entry and middle management positions are occupied by women. 48% of all employees are women. And 56% are millennials. And that's important, right? For us, youth is important. Those are the people who are going to carry the economy. Now, we need the right kind of network as well. So we, as you know, we have 2 networks already, and we're going to build a 3rd network. We have the wireless network, 5G across the board. So we have significant coverage in 5G. But we're also working on improving that coverage. We're adding 9 new cell sites. The plan is by the end of this year, 8 of those 9, at least the temporary cell sites will be up and running, right? So we're working through that. And in addition, we're in conversation with the government about bringing small cell technology across the Virgin Islands. So when you talk about going into dense areas, having the ability to get coverage in those areas without having a big tower is important. So we're working on small cell regulation. And bringing 5G speeds is critical as well. So that's something we're working on. And we are adding more capacity and fine-tuning our mobile network. We know today, I mean, everywhere I go, this is a topic of discussion, right? How can I improve coverage? My coverage is not as great as what it should be. And we know that, and we are working. One promise we'll make is we are working on improving that. And we want to bring the best network to the islands as possible. The second network that we have is the Broadband VI fixed wireless network. We have several customers already with the fixed wireless network, and we know that that's another network that's going to stay on for a few years while we work on fiber. We're also investing in that network to make that network better, to improve speeds, to improve resiliency, everything. And then the whole thought is by the end of this year, both on the fixed wireless side and on the mobile wireless side, we will have significant improvement. But we're not going to stop there. We're going to continue to improve. Make sure that, as technology changes, as demand grows, we will continue to keep up with the network. The other one is really about fiber. right? So this is where things become really different for the island. Many of you know we are the recipient of the Connect USVI funds from FCC. And the federal funding, we got $84.5 million to bring fiber to every household and every business on the island. Our CEO Balan was saying this morning, there aren't too many places in the world where every household has fiber access. USVI is going to be one of those very, very, very few places where that happens. And a commitment here is really bringing fiber to all of the underserved rural areas as well, but most of the fiber built underground for resiliency reasons. We want this fiber as resilient as possible with the right kind of power behind it to make sure that it's operational, right? So that's a commitment that we made to the FCC, and we're going to keep to that. The completion, as per FCC's requirement, is 40% of the fiber to be built by 2024, 80% by 2026, and project completion by 2027. We're going to accelerate it. We're going to invest more funds, our own funds, and accelerate the construction, and our goal is to get it completed by 2025. So by 2025, every household should have fiber, and every business should be connected with fiber. And the thing about fiber, today, you can see the typical household, you have multiple simultaneous streaming going on. Everybody's watching Netflix. Everybody's watching Disney Plus, right? YouTube. At the same time, people are trying to work from home with multiple video conferences going on. And we've all experienced sitting at home when the thing, you can't hear the other person, it's jittery, right? And God forbid you have a teenager and that person is playing online games at the same time. That's going to be an amazing experience, isn't it? So how do we solve this? That's an issue that we have everywhere. How do we solve this? The only way we solve that is by bringing more bandwidth. And fiber is going to make that happen. We're talking about speeds from 50 megabits per second to 1 gigabit per second. Symmetrical, not asymmetrical. So upload and download speeds about the same, right? And at affordable prices. That's extremely important. This brings greater stability, but also we want to have enough battery backup and so on. So when power goes out, the network should still be up and running. So this is what we are working towards. This is what we want to bring to the island. So how are we doing this? So Liberty, you've seen Liberty VI. Liberty operates in multiple countries across Latin America, and Liberty family as a whole has a lot of operations throughout the world. We have significant experience in building and operating fiber and cable in 20 plus countries across Caribbean and Latin America. We're joined with our partner, Atlantic Engineering Group, YCOM and AEG, who's here with us, is going to be our construction partner. And they have significant fiber construction experience in the US and the USVI as well, and also in the Caribbean. They've worked with companies such as AT&T, Verizon, Charter Communications, CenturyLink, you name it. So we're bringing a lot of expertise. Now that expertise is not just imported, right? So one of the things that we are trying to do is bring the knowledge and try and recruit people locally to improve the local workforce as well. Now, when we started talking about fiber, one of the first things that, when I first had the discussion with the governor, with the Commissioner Gabriel, there was a lot of questions about, this is going to be disruptive. Is this going to actually impact the roads? So what we are actually planning for this time is bring a new technology called micro-trenching. Traditional trenching you can see on the left side, where you drive down the main road, you see a big patch that goes, right? And some of it was what our wireless group did as well a long time ago. Technology has changed. What we are now bringing is something called micro-trenching. You can see the pictures on the right side. It's a very, very small trench. And a lot of it actually can go on the side of the road. This is something that we're going to bring to minimize, not only minimize the disruption, but also make it so that on an ongoing basis, the roads don't look as bad, right? So that's part of the technology that so this is a commitment that we made, and we're going to work closely with DPW and all the agencies that are working on WAPA, that's actually working on multiple construction projects at the same time. Part of it is also how, as we do dig, we lay the fiber and fill the holes so that the disruption is kept to a minimum. We have a video here. Let's see, I probably went too far. You can kind of see how, yeah, there we go. So this gives you a view of what micro-trenching is and how small it is. And you'll see one part of the video where it'll give you a sense of the size of that trench itself. Right? And the beauty of this technology is we can go on the sides of the road, right? So you can see that's about the size of the trench, right? And you can see how quickly this gets filled as well. And so one of the commitments we made as well is before we start, we're going to actually demonstrate this, and we are working on that. Obviously, to do this, the fiber has to be smaller, the ducts have to be smaller, so we're working through all of that to make sure that this is available for the islands. Okay. Anyhow, that's just to give you a sense of micro-trenching. This is the technology we're going to use wherever possible, right? Now, this is another extremely important aspect. When I met with Commissioner Gabriel early on, one of the things he said is, there are a lot of projects going on. We need to make sure that we coordinate very closely. And he's been, and Jomo and Commissioner Gabriel and team have been kind enough to also include us in the all utilities meeting, where we're working closely with WAPA, with the disaster recovery and so on, to make sure that we coordinate our construction, right? And we want to minimize disruption, not just for what we do, but we want to make sure that we are working with others who are doing the same thing. So the future is now. Future is now, not just for Liberty, but for Virgin Islands, right? The strength of our community lies in staying connected. We believe that very strongly. And that is why we offer and we will provide a reliable mobile network that you trust, and now a broadband network that's expanding with fiber fast throughout the Virgin Islands to keep you connected better. And the future starts now for Virgin Islands. We are going to bring incredible speeds to the island. So new branding for Broadband VI now, from now on, is Liberty VI. We will have a brand new website going forward. It will be a Liberty website. And the Liberty locations, so you've seen the Liberty mobile locations where we're selling and serving wireless. Those locations will now also be able to sell and serve broadband also. So customers can go to one place and buy both mobile and broadband. And we are bringing new rates and better offers for combined customers. So if someone has both wireless and broadband, they will get better rates as well. And we're starting a new education and advertising campaign about that. So throughout this process, I know you, Commissioner Gabriel, you told me several times, education is key. So we're really looking at how do we continue to educate. We'll educate through advertisements, we'll educate through public relationships, we'll talk to different organizations. So we will continue to educate about what we're doing. So here's a brief view of our new advertising campaign, and it is about how we're going to keep USVI better connected, a lot of it. Um, and it's also talking about how we can, I talked about combined services. As we bring combined services, you will get more, and this will continue to grow, right? So especially as we bring fiber, you will start seeing better and better offers for the islands.
The strength of our community lies in staying connected. That's why Liberty offers the reliable mobile networks you trust. And now a broadband network that is expanding fiber faster up the Virgin Islands to always keep you better connected. Your future starts now. Liberty, your world better connected.
Now, we know that this is another thing we've also heard when we've done focus groups. Connection with the communities is extremely important. So through our Liberty Foundation, we are participating and will continue to participate more and more and more. So we are supporting a number of institutions for education, for social well-being and health, for arts and culture and environmental protection. So you can see the list of organizations that we're participating with, and we will continue to do more and more of that. This is important for us as well, because at the end of the day, we're part of this community, right? So we are Liberty Virgin Islands. We are Liberty, but we are Liberty Virgin Islands. So this is extremely important for us. So why, I'll just finish with one thing, right? So why is this good for Virgin Islands? It's not about liberty at the end of the day, but it's about what happens, what benefits the Virgin Islanders get. With this, everyone will have access to fiber-fast internet at affordable pricing. More mobile coverage and capacity, and 5G speeds throughout the island. And better offers and benefits when you combine the telecom services. To do all this, we're going to do construction keeping the Virgin Islanders in mind, right? So we're bringing new technology and effective coordination and communication. That's a promise that we make. That's a promise that I made to Department of Public Works when I first met with them, saying we will make sure that we stay connected every step of the way, and that's a promise we keep. So with this, Virgin Islands will shine in the Caribbean. That's our promise, right? That's our goal. And world-class infrastructure capabilities to support and promote economic activity. Fiber is going to really spur economic activity. We know that, we've seen that, and this is going to happen here as well. Employment opportunities and professional development, that's something that we are very, very particular about as well. So we're going to focus on that quite a bit. And finally, the financial investment and the volunteering to support our communities. So with that, thank you very much. I'd like to invite Naji Khoury, our CEO for Liberty Puerto Rico and Virgin Islands, to come and say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure being here today. Thank you, Bala, for the beautiful presentation. For everyone here, I'm not going to repeat everybody's name. I probably forgot them by now. But thank you for taking the time. It's an absolute pleasure. It's one day, it's few hours, but a very key and important day in our journey. I just wanted to focus on one point that I think is very important, and that goes back to commitment. I sat in front of many of you about a year and a half ago, and you probably did not believe me, right? And I made a commitment that we will create a local company with local management, with local talent that will grow and support this business. Yes, it is supported by a larger company, which it is needed, but the decisions are being made local. And that's why I lost communication with many of you, not because I didn't want to talk to you, but because we have somebody local that can do the work, right? They're closer, they live here, they understand the culture, they understand the need, and they're much more accessible. Obviously, I am accessible, but I will not be that efficient and that accessible, that easily, I can be here in an hour or so. But that is our plan. And so far, I have to say it has worked. Bala and his management team has done an incredible job in building the structure. At Liberty, Latin America, I believe we have found a perfect balance between what is managed centrally and what is managed locally, right? It has worked. It has delivered great results for many of our market, and we expect it's going to deliver very good results for this market as well, right? And more than happy to discuss with you some of our success stories, different other markets, right? But I can tell you from experience, it has delivered. So our commitment, is strong. We've delivered on our promises, and we will continue. I do ask for a bit of patience. We can be sometimes very persistent and asking you again and reminding you. We have targets, we have goals. We want to meet them, but we want to meet them obviously knowing that this is going to be a bit impactful along the way. But at the end, I tend to be very optimistic in nature, and I believe that the end is bright. But unfortunately, we're going to have to go through a lot of work to get there. And we have the right team, we have the right support. We're solid financially. We have a great team on the ground, and myself, my superior, the management team, and you'll hear from Bana himself. We're committed. We are committed to making this happen, and we deliver on our promises. So, with that, I'm not going to take too much time. I again wanted to thank you for coming here today, and thank you for your support, and thanks again for just believing in our story. And hopefully, we will become very good friends in the next couple of years. And this is going to be here for the long run. So this is not we're going to build and leave. No, we're going to be here for the long run. So thanks again. And with that, I'll introduce you to Balan. Hopefully, you get a chance to meet him. And again, thank you, Bala. Balan, all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Naji. Thank you, Bala. Couldn't be more happier to work with these two fine executives. We are excited. We're excited about building. We're excited about bringing connectivity to everybody at USVI. This is extremely important. It is actually quite rare to be a part of such a major transformation. There are literally very few countries in the world that have brought fiber to every home in their communities. Japan hasn't done it. Mainland United States haven't done it. The United Kingdom hasn't done it. France hasn't done it. There is hardly any countries that ever built fiber to every home in their communities. But we're going to do it. We are all going to do it. And it is actually extremely exciting to be a part of this. Bala had mentioned that we would spend about 80-some million. It is actually going to be more than 100 million. The funding that we get from the government is over 10 years. Bala said we're going to build this in 3 years. We are going to fund this ourselves and build it over the next 3 years and spend more than $100 million. And that is significant. And we don't do it lightly. We make these decisions based on, one, do we have the right team on the ground to actually execute on it? Two, are the communities ready to receive it? And three, do we have great support and partnerships with public officials to make this happen? This is how we make decisions, whether it is in the United States, mainland, whether it's in Panama, whether it's in Colombia, Chile, Jamaica, anywhere. These three things are really important in how we make decisions. And our faith in USVI is extremely high, in our colleagues on the ground, extremely high. We're going to build fast. And we have not only the knowledge and experience, but also the financial commitment. Last year, our company built more than 600,000 fiber to the homes passed. This year, we're on target to build, again, about 600,000 homes. 10,000 of which will be here in USVI. So we didn't just wake up the other day and say we like this fiber thing. We've been doing this. We know how to do it. And we have the balance sheet to do it. And in many ways, every one of us in this room, all of you, are a part of this. 10 years, 20 years from now, you'll look back and say you were part of this whole journey. I had asked some of the team, and I'll ask Bala as well, almost everybody in this room here, you should have your names on at least part of this bill, some conduit, some manhole. Because 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, our kids, the next generation will look back, and once again, USVI will be one of the few places that have all fiber, and you can say you were part of it. You were part of it in the beginning, you were part of it at the end, you were part of the decision making, but most importantly, you made it happen. Everybody in this room made it happen. We should all be really proud of it, like I said. Very rarely in one's career, in one's life, where you get to be part of such a major transformation. I do have to say thank you to my colleagues on the ground. Thank you to our partners, both our private partners and our public partners as well, because we are all partnering in this. This is a journey all of us are making together, all of us are committed to do together, and none of us can do it by ourselves. And public officials also rarely get a chance to actually make a big difference to their country. The President of the United States funded, and the US Congress, this program of broadband in mainland United States. Very excited about it. At the end of that whole project, they will only have 30% fiber to the home over a 7-year period. And I'm quite involved in that part as well on the mainland. So I just can't tell you how amazing it is here, and the public officials in this country should be extremely proud of what you are making happen on these islands. So with that, I want to say thank you again. Thank you to Bala, thank you to Naji, thank you to all of our construction partners, all of our executives on the ground. This is amazing. This is just so happy to be part of this. Bala.
Thank you very much. And we can take some questions, any questions that you have. We've covered a lot of information. I'm sure there are a lot of questions, and happy to take any questions.
When are you going to start?
I'm sorry?
When are you going to start?
When am I going to start? So the construction for the project. We're starting that project construction. Actually, we have started the project construction in the sense we have started doing walkouts. We're in the process of getting all the permits through, and we're going through the design process. So our hope is actual construction will start within the next 4 to 6 weeks. Yes.
You spoke about affordability.
Yes.
Do you have a ballpark figure what that would look like?
How about if I just say you'll get, for now, we're working through pricing, right? But we're talking about starting speeds at 50 megabits per second, but 100 megabits per second for less than $100. And that's only the start. That's what, I'm sorry? It's symmetrical, it's down and up. That's the beauty of this. So imagine, this is the symmetrical is important to emphasize. Everybody talks about download speed, but upload speed becomes very important, especially when you're doing video conference. And anymore, video conferencing is becoming the way of life. So symmetrical speeds, the upload speed is extremely important. That's why symmetrical is important. And we just wait for a few more weeks. As we get closer to market launch, you will start seeing some of the real pricing, and we're going to have pricing, we're going to have offers, especially for customers, as we said, who will have both our mobile and fixed. The speeds are going to be incredible. That much I can promise you. Yes, sir. Sorry, say that again one more time. Not specialized permits from the federal government. The permits are all local, so we need permits from Department of Public Works for doing construction in all the public roads. We need permits from DPNR, especially on the CZM side, right? But those are the ones that are critical. But we'll also need to work with WAPA for pole agreements, and we'll also need to work with VI and GN for conduit access and so on.
How close to the shoulder are you gonna go? Because in some cases, on some of our roads throughout the Virgin Islands, it's just a tar slab, and there's nothing to retain the actual road, like a sidewalk or something of that nature. So how close to the shoulder are you going?
Actually, let me invite my Ricky, who's Ricky, can you answer the question?
Yes, depending on the area, if there's no shoulder going 60 inches into the road, yeah. But we will work that with the government agencies here to make sure that complies with your standard, but we also follow all the US standards.
While that's not my area of profession, I'm assuming that on some roads you may have to vary how close you can go to the shoulder because of the nature of the road and it's a lot.
That's right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And this is something that we are not taking very lightly, right? Because there are roads that have already been paved, and there's also construction work going on with WAPA. There's construction work going on with Office of Disaster Recovery and with waste management. So we're coordinating every day with the help of Commissioner Gabriel and Jomo to make sure that we do this the right way. Yes, ma'am.
Construction would be simultaneous in all three or four islands?
We're going to start with St. Thomas and St. Croix this year, and then we'll get to St. John next year. We went through a very rigorous process working with DPW and DPNR to select the areas that we want to go after first based on other projects that are going on at the same time. So this is where we're going to go first.
The workforce.
Yes.
Are you going to be hiring the locals?
Absolutely. So that's a really good question. Thank you for asking that question. There are two different types of workforce. On the office workers, customer service agents, marketing people, program managers, we're definitely looking at hiring local people. On the construction, our commitment as well is to try and train people, because we don't have as many fiber technicians and we don't have as many construction people. So what we're trying to do is the commitment that we have along with our partner EEG, they're going to bring some knowledge from the mainland, but we are going to try and work as much as possible to hire and train local people. So part of that is also we're exploring opportunities to work with programs like Skills for Today and see how we can leverage that. Yeah. It's important that these skills are important for the island on a long-term basis, not just for, right? Our goal is not to just lay the fiber and forget about it. We need to have people that know how to manage that on an ongoing basis on the ground. Yeah. Any other questions, thoughts?
I noticed a lot of charities, so how do you sort of vet which of the local charities that you're giving to, and do you accept, information about different charities from different people, such as in this room, that might be good?
Absolutely. So on an annual basis, our Liberty Foundation, we get together and we talk about all the different charities that we want to contribute to, either in terms of either financially or time. Time commitment is more important, right? So we're trying to get our people also engaged in doing things. So to answer your question, we go through a process where we say these are all the charities. We ask our people as well to contribute. But if you have other charities, we're happy to hear about them. and we'll go through the process and we'll talk to you and see if there are other charities that we are missing, see what we can do. Anything else? Okay. Well, if there are no other questions, right, first of all, again, I want to say thank you very much. This is, for us, is extremely exciting. And for me, it's exciting. I moved to St. Thomas about 8 months ago now. And I'm now actually, I'm now a resident of the USVI Virgin Islands. So actually, I was telling one of my colleagues, I'm actually a Virgin Islander right now. Right? Believe it or not, I am. But I think I still haven't ventured into buying a boat, or I know Jory keeps telling me I got to get on the boat, but I'm not there yet. I'll be there one of these days soon. But this is an amazing place, an amazing community, and it's what I found is when I start talking to people, both the community, both the business community, the general community at large, the public officials and so on, everybody wants to really see how they can make a difference for the Virgin Islanders. And we're grateful for the opportunity, and I'm thankful personally to have the opportunity to make this happen. And thank you for all your help and partnership in making this happen. And thank you for taking the time to come here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Bala. Thank you all for joining us. I just want to make 3 small announcements. First of all, I want to recognize the presence of 2 more people that came into the room. Senator Neville Francis, thank you very much. And we also have Damalia Simmons, who's representing the office of Senator Genevieve Whitaker. She's here as well. Thank you. Okay, we would like to invite all of you for lunch. Lunch is served outside. You can serve yourselves and come back in. And then thirdly, we would like to take a picture of all of the Liberty employees that are here. It's a big, big group. It's a momentous occasion. So before everybody leaves, we want to take a picture of the 21 people more or less that we have in the staircase right there before lunch. Okay, so while everybody's serving, having their lunch, we'll take the picture on the staircase of the 21 people that are here from Liberty, okay? Thanks. Thank you. Bon appetit.
Hi, my name is Bala Balakrishnan. I'm the country manager for Liberty in the Virgin Islands. In my role, I'm responsible for the financial performance and the commercial strategy of the company, and also the go-to-market with all the products and services, and also, more importantly, serving the customers and bringing the best network possible to the customers.
Okay, so Liberty, our viewers, our residents, witnessed the transition and they've experienced some bumps in the roads. So what do you tell them who are experiencing the drop calls in areas, they're seeing the spam calls, and who have a number of complaints? They tend to feel that it has increased since the transition occurred.
Yeah.
What do you tell them, and what can they do? What kind of relief is coming?
Yeah. So first of all, the transition, the network that we have here is the exact same network that was with AT&T. So while it looked like it was because of the transition, some of the things that happened has got less to do with the transition and more to do with the timing of it. Right after the transition, the pandemic hit, consumption went up, so basically network congestion went up. We're aware of it, So we're fixing a lot of things. We're improving our overall capacity throughout the island. We now have 95% 5G coverage, but we have 3 phases of fiber deployment. Phase 1 is complete. The next 2 phases for the wireless fiber is going to be done over the next 18 months or so. We know the drop calls. We have identified 9 spots where there are drop calls happening. So we have plans to fix it over the year. On the spam messages, unfortunately, it's not just in Virgin Islands, it's happening everywhere, and I get it too. So the first thing I'll tell our viewers is go on National Do Not Call Registry and register. That helps a lot. That will help filter out quite a bit. That doesn't mean that everything is gone. We're still identifying and finding out if there's other ways to filter out these spam messages so people don't get inundated. It's an unfortunate nature of the digital economy. But we are doing everything we can to try and resolve this issue.
In the meantime, when the customers are experiencing these type of issues, what do they do? Or as a consumer, what do you tell them? Because they say they're paying the same bill.
Yes. So as a consumer, what I will tell you is, it is step number 1 for the spam calls, go on Do Not Call Registry and register. And if you have issues, call us. And be assured we are aware of these things and we are fixing it. What we bring to you is the best network on the wireless side, and on the wireline side we are actually going to be laying fiber. We have mandate from the FCC and funding from the FCC to lay a fiber to the home network throughout, and you're going to be seeing that. Construction is going to start happening sometime this year, and over the next 6 years we are going to connect up the entire island, all 46,000 homes, with fiber. So please bear with us a little bit, and I assure you we're going to get you a fantastic network.
So let's step back 1 second. I want to step back and let's talk a little more on the country manager. That's a role that the USVI, we're not familiar with. Country manager is a term used in the Lower Caribbean, Latin America. Why is it important? Why the title country manager? For who's watching in? We're not familiar with the country manager term.
Look, at the end of the day, the title, we came up with the title for various reasons. It is a general manager role. I am the general manager responsible for, or you can call it CEO, responsible for the operations of Liberty in the Virgin Islands. And it's important because as the general manager for this operation in these islands, I'm responsible for the performance of Liberty, both in terms of operations, customer service on the islands.
Okay, now we were just talking about the fiber, the cutting of the road. We've seen that, we witnessed it, we've experienced the teams as they cut up the island and paved it back. There was some bumps even with our government and our residents through that transition period. So for a timeline, we seem to feel, since there are less people on the road cutting right now, that the work is done. So what kind of timeline we're looking for this new, bigger, better network, or is there more work to do?
There are 2 parts to this whole cutting up of the roads, as you say. On the wireless side, your 5G network, as we discussed, we are basically going to fill the gaps and fill the holes and improve the network performance. There are 3 phases to doing that, and that requires fiber as well. Phase 1 is done, which has covered 50% of the islands. The next 2 phases, which fills out the rest of the 50%, is going to happen over the next 18 months or so. On the fiber to the home, that's a bigger initiative. Basically, we're going to connect fiber to every house, or the 46,000 households in the 3 islands. That plan is over the next 6 years. So we think that over the next 3 years, 80% of all households will be covered. So you will see some activity.
Okay. Liberty supporting our community. And with you here, does that mean a stronger connection to our community? Does that mean more organizations, more people being able to get support in every manner? How do you respond to that?
Without a doubt. So our community support is through Liberty Foundation, and we're definitely very focused on bringing that to Virgin Islands. We've actually brought it already. So since 2020, we dedicated $200,000 for community initiatives. And this year, we're going to select 2 organizations, one in St. Croix, one in St. Thomas, that we'll be supporting. And as we continue, we're going to do that as well. But more importantly, the other thing we're going to do is, as we bring these companies together, both the wireless side and broadband BI, we're going to look at recruiting more people locally. We're going to look at growing more talent. So the opportunities that will bring will also be phenomenal.